So a few days ago, January 13th, the ATF, the DOJ passed its final ruling on stabilizing braces. I didn't think it would affect me so quickly, but it has. And I'll get into this story here in a second. This video was strictly for entertainment. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to offer you guys legal advice. Main thing I want to do here is tell some of my viewers what I think about the ruling, how things are going to impact us moving forward, and then specifically what happened to me already with this new rule that the ATF has put into place. So this is my PSA Palmetto State Armory AR-10. This is chambered in 308. And the thing I want you guys to pay specific attention to is the barrel and the barrel length. And that is at the crux of what the ATF's new law on pistol braces is all about. And because we have a lot of new guys that watch the channel, this would be an example of a short barrel rifle or AR pistol configuration as opposed to the longer barrel that I just showed you on my AR-10. In here, this would be another example of an SBR or short barrel rifle AR pistol. So like I said, on January 13th, the DOJ passed their final ruling on stabilizing braces. And I think, let me look at my notes, yep, you have 120 days. So from the time the ink dried on that new law or rule, you have 120 days to comply. So basically at this point, technically everyone who owns a SBR short barrel rifle that doesn't have a tax stamp is effectively a felon. They did give a 120-day grace period. I believe you have to send in your fingerprints, send your address, send a picture of the rifle, the short barrel rifle. Like I said, along with your fingerprints, picture, and your address. And then they also have to make a ruling. So just because you send all of it over to the ATF doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna grant you the right to own that SBR. It can't be denied, and obviously at the point that it does get denied for you, then you're effectively a felon. Like I said, they did give a couple of options, and they do give a 120-day forbearance or grace period. One other thing to keep in mind is when you submit any paperwork like this, Form 1 to the ATF, after 88 days, if they have not gotten back to you, it's an automatic denial. So again, you've sent your fingerprints, you've sent your address, you've sent a picture of the weapon, and you've effectively put yourself on a list letting the ATF know that you own this weapon. And again, after 88 days, if they hadn't got back with you, it's an automatic denial. Also, like I said, they do give a 120-day forbearance or grace period. I can tell you now, these guys are going to be overrun. Typically, it's 6 to 8 months when you submit forms like this to the ATF. There's no way they're going to get through all of these in 120 days. Just keep that in mind. I have a couple of options. Let me look at my notes. You can remove the brace and destroy the brace itself, and also destroy the mechanism where you can attach that to your SBR. You can install the 16-inch barrel. So that's another option. You can take that barrel off and you can just install the 16-inch barrel and problem solved. You can register the firearm as an SBR. We already went through that option. You can also destroy the weapon. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Hey, I paid $500, $1,000, $2,000 or more for this weapon. I'm not simply going to destroy it, but that is an option. So you can destroy the weapon. Obviously, you're not on any lists and you're not a felon. You're not in any trouble. You can just simply destroy the weapon. So before I get into my story and tell you guys what happened to me over the past week and a half, I just want to remind you the penalty after this 120-day forbearance or grace period is passed is a $250,000 fine and a 10-year prison stint. Yes, you heard me right. That's a $250,000 fine and a 10-year prison stint. And you're a felon at that point, and obviously you can no longer own a weapon, you can no longer vote, and everything else that comes along with being a felon. So this is something to take seriously. We'll see how this plays out in the media, how it plays out in the courts over the next few weeks and months. But as of now, this is the ruling, and this is how we're moving forward. So let me get into my story and tell you guys what happened to me. Obviously, like I said, this ruling from the DOJ came down on January 13th. So January 10th, I go on Palmetto State Armory's website. I love PSA. Like I said, I got several Palmetto State Armory rifles. I got my 308 and AR-10 that I showed you guys earlier. I got a 6.5 Creedmoor. This is my PSA AR-10 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. Like I said before, I love PSA, love everything those guys stand for. My son and I take out his 6.5 Creedmoor all the time. It's AR-10. We love to shoot it. This video really isn't about PSA. Unfortunately, they are the company who I bought the Jackal from. Anyway, so I'm watching a review a couple of weeks ago on YouTube. Somebody's doing a review on the PSA Jackal. So I'm like, man, I'm finally gonna pull the trigger, no pun intended, pick up a PSA Jackal. Now, I had no idea, as of millions of you didn't, that this ruling was even coming down from the DOJ or the ATF. And anyway, so January 10th, I go on PSA's website, I ordered a PSA Jackal, super excited about it. I got it in flat dark earth. Checking my email every day, checking my email, finally I get an email, boom, your Jackal has shipped. So a few days later, it gets to Cabela's, and Cabela's is where it's 2 minutes from my house. It's the FFL transfer that I chose for this transaction. Get an email on January 17th that says your PSA Jackal has delivered. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna get off work. I'm gonna go over and pick it up. And a few hours later, I'm checking my email again, and I got an email that says your return has been started. Like, well, that's weird. I haven't even picked it up yet. So I called Cabela's, and I'm like, hey, did you guys get my Jackal? And they're like, yeah, we picked it up, but because of the new ATF rule, we can't transfer it over to you. Like, hold on. So this rule hadn't even gone into effect yet. Even if it was transferred to me, I'd have 120 days to comply. But you won't transfer me the weapon that I've already paid for through PSA. The answer was no. So I called PSA and I'm like, all right, guys, what are my options here? And they tell me, well, actually at this point you have no options. Like, until we get the Jackal back, the weapon back, like, your money's tied up. So let me get this straight. So like I said, this video is in no way, shape, or form of me coming at PSA. I love the company. I love everything those guys do and stand for. I got several of their rifles. I'll probably buy several more of their rifles in the future. It just so happens that the AR pistol, the Jackal that I was trying to buy, is a PSA product. Otherwise, I love everything PSA and those guys do over there. So because of a rule that hadn't even gone into effect yet, that I have 120 days to comply to, the money that I paid for the Jackal is tied up until you get it back. Cabela's has the rifle right now, and there's no guarantee that I'll get it back or that you'll get it back so I can get my money back. And right now, I'm just basically screwed until you get it back. She says yes. I said, okay, well, let me talk to a manager. A few minutes goes by, they transfer me, manager gets on, manager basically gives the same explanation that the lady I just talked to gave. So now I'm kind of in a holding pattern. I have reached back out to Cabela's again. Tried to go through Cabela's corporate. Nothing changed. At the end of the day, now I believe the pistol has been sent back to PSA. So now I'll just wait for PSA to get that back, and I'll get my money transferred back to me, and then I can move on. So again, I didn't think so quickly I would be affected or impacted by the ATF and the DOJ's new rules / law, but here we are. That's what happened to me. That's my story. Go down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the ATF's new rule on the stabilizing braces. Catch you guys later. Junior, out.